Gone.
Whoa, 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 wow. Press play, like and subscribe. You're watching the podcast. Yeah, my guy. Oh,
Gone.
we're gonna rock your ears off.
Happy birthday, everyone. Happy birthday. Today is everyone's birthday today. This is the birthday podcast where we celebrate everybody's birthday, starting with Matthew,
Happy birthday, Matt.
Jake,
Happy birthday, Jake.
Eliza,
Happy birthday, Eliza.
and Sharon.
Not a fan of Sharon, but you know what? It is your birthday.
Okay, well, hopefully someone out there heard that. One of those
Except
names.
Sharon.
Yeah, except Sharon. We hope she doesn't. I hope she doesn't. Yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about random shit because that's what we do best is talk about random
Smash
stuff.
that like button. Oh, is it too early?
No, you can say like and subscribe. I guess there's no.
Make sure you leave a comment and follow us on Facebook.
That could be the whole like episode where it's just like smash that like button, press subscribe, make sure to follow, and just like keep going for like an hour.
Hey Evan, have you smashed that like button?
Not yet, but I will.
Boom! Already did.
Already did. Beat you to it.
Yeah, you hear that, viewer? You're behind.
You're behind. You gotta
We're
catch up.
winning. Yeah. I bet you haven't liked as many of our videos as I have.
Yeah. Do you know how many fake accounts I've created to just like?
Yeah. I dare you to like it more than me. I dare you.
I don't actually have fake accounts. Just letting you know.
Evan.
Just know. All
you tell
our viewers and people that like the video are organic. They are natural.
Evan, I don't care about organic. I want numbers.
Numbers. That's all that you think
Yeah.
of. I used to
Anyone
be
out
the
there-
numbers guy, but now it's you. You've turned into the numbers guy.
Yeah, because who cares about an audience?
Who cares about
I
just
wanna-
doing what we
I want-
do? Yeah.
But I want 300 likes on this video. If we get... Actually, that's way too high. How about this?
Yeah.
If we get 50 likes, I'll take my pants off.
Like during the episode or like?
Well, for next episode.
Okay.
I'll do it with no pants. I'll still wear underwear because I don't want to, like, get in trouble with the internet. But
yeah, that's probably for the best. For me as well, because I don't want to see anything. Yeah. So everyone, welcome. Let's kind of go back on track here. I did want to
We're always-
like say a little bit sometimes, not all the time. Anyways, I wanted to talk about some things have happened. Maybe more so like I thought we could start an episode where we just talk about stuff that we like and maybe stuff that we don't like. You know what I mean? Any new artists dropping stuff that you like that you want to share to the world, even though like the world doesn't really watch us, but
Well, but they could. See,
they could.
they should.
So if
Hey,
you
people of the world, including President Barack Obama.
him and Michelle, don't forget Michelle.
Yeah, dude, we could do a duo cast. We could have a tag team match. You and me versus Michelle and Barack.
Who's taking on Barack? Who's taking on Michelle?
I think I would rather take on Barack, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, but that means I gotta take on Michelle, and I feel like I'm gonna lose that
Oh,
one.
dude,
I'm gonna
Michelle
lose.
Obama would kick your ass.
I know. I can't even lie. That's yeah. I wouldn't win that.
She probably would mind too. To be fair.
Because she has like that like mom strength. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely has mom strength.
So I can't do anything against that. You know.
No. See, I feel like me and Barack, we'd just crack a beer, you know. we wouldn't even fight.
That's unfair.
Hey, it's not
Meanwhile,
my
like
fault.
I'm in a chokehold.
You
know,
you
against
chose
Michelle.
to fight Michelle. That's not my fault.
I didn't choose. You just took on Barack.
You asked
You
me to
you
choose.
set this
You
up. You took on Brock knowing
listen,
full well that Michelle would like take me down.
listen. You gave up your right when you told me who I would want to take on. Why would
That's
I?
true.
Why
I
would
should
I
have
want to
I
take on
should have
Michelle?
gone first. I should have, you know,
Yeah, I gave
uh
you the opportunity.
yeah. That's my bad. That's my bad. Anyways,
Anyways, back on
back
track.
on track. Back to the train. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Anyways, I wanted to kick off by saying like Spirit Box dropped
Spirit
an
Box.
album called Tsunami Sea. Really good. I think people should give it a listen, even though, you know, they're more popular so that, you know, their fans already know about it. But like
True.
anyone who watches this that doesn't know, now you know. Go check
Now
it
you
out
know.
on
No
Spotify.
excuses.
Really good. Also, Dead
Also,
Rabbits, which is a smaller band, but still
I don't know
good,
that.
dropped another album called Redefined. Go
Mm.
check it out on Spotify. This sounds like a sponsor. We're not sponsored, by the way. I just wanted to talk about things that we
Yeah,
like
what the hell
and
is that?
want to shout out to the world. If you have anything, Chandler, if you want to add any artists that have been dropping stuff.
No, I mean like Playboy Cardi dropped, but everyone says it's pretty bad. So, I listened to like half of the first song. I haven't given it any more time than that.
Isn't the album called Music or like the cover art is like I Am Music?
I think. Yeah,
That's terrible.
it's been like, how long? Like 5 or 6 years, I think, since he dropped his last one, and fans have been like edging themselves for the past 5 years, and
Yeah.
then they got this shit.
Have you
I
always been a Playboy Cardi fan or
No, I'm not super big into him. I'm acquainted, I enjoy some of his songs, but I'm not
yeah.
like some Cardi fans are kind of nuts, dude. They go kind of nuts. So I don't know. I can't really feel their pain too much because to me it sounds like how he sounded when I first listened to him, which was just kind of garbage. And
Okay, fair
oh,
enough.
and then over time I just kind of grew to sort of enjoy the uh, whimsicalness of some of his music.
Okay. But this doesn't sound like more of like a shout out you really want to shout out though. So
Well, it's
we'll
big
say
news,
fuck
you know.
you to Playboy Cardi. Fuck you,
Whoa!
Playboy Cardi, for sending or pushing out a mediocre, not even mediocre album. That's what Chandler said.
Yeah,
Chandler said it was dog
that's
shit.
what the internet told
It
me.
was garbage.
I don't have a
He
personal
listened to
opinion.
the whole album and it was garbage. He said.
Yeah, and you can come on our podcast and fight me, Mr. Playboy. I would do it for the views. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He
But
would also. Well, maybe I
yeah.
could fight Playboy Cardi.
I mean, maybe I haven't seen him, so I can't really say. But
I don't know. I don't think he's like big and scary, but he might be a psychopath, so that part
Could
might be
be.
kind of scary.
I don't know. But anyways, is there an artist out there that you want to shout out that you think people should listen to?
Oh, sure, David X. He's dropping soon.
Ooh.
He's got like a release party coming up on the 19th of
Mhm.
March. Who knows when this episode will air? Possibly never.
Yeah. To
Um,
be fair.
yeah, no, I love David X. He's cool. He's a homie. We talk sometimes. I've met him a few times. I have like all of his T-shirts.
So go
But yeah,
listen to
check
David
him out.
X. Yeah.
We'll tag
check
him.
him out.
I'll tag him in the comments or something.
I mean, I've listened to some of his music. It's not bad. Pretty good.
No, it's cool. He's a really good producer.
Mhm.
I personally find his lyrics to be very relatable much of the time.
Yeah.
And he's got this really cool vibe about him. And he's just a really cool dude. Like I've met him a couple times. He's just really chill. Just loves music, you know.
Mm-hmm. Since you got like kind of like a fuck you shout out with Playboy Cardi, I feel like I should get one, and I'm gonna say fuck you to Fallen in Reverse.
Mm,
You might not know the band that well, but
not super familiar, but
yeah, I'm just gonna say it because I don't like the lead singer that much, or really just a He's just really like a one man band type of thing.
Oh yeah,
Don't
that's
like him.
Ronnie Radke.
Ronald Radke. Yep.
Yeah, you've told me he's a massive douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck you, guy.
Well, I used
I
to
don't even
listen
know
to
your
his
name.
music when I was like, younger. Well, can't even say younger really, but like, even like recently I have, but I've kind of drifted away from it more so now, and now I'm just like completely just done with it. So,
Fair.
fuck you.
Fuck you,
That's all I got to say about that.
Ronald McDonald, for making us fat. Sorry, I kind of transitioned into
Yeah.
the next one. Fuck
Have you
McDonald.
seen Super Size Me?
Of course. Yeah, we watched it in health class.
Yeah, so did I. That's
Yeah, we
insane,
went
by
to
the
the same
way.
school.
Because like I found out he like when he was filming that he lost his like fiance
Not surprised.
because like she didn't want to put up with like the whole like him gaining that much weight and being very unhealthy and stuff like that.
I
Because he
wouldn't
he did it
either.
for a whole, was it a whole year that he did it?
Was it a year? I
I
don't
can't
remember.
remember how long he did it for.
I would have thought like a week would have been way too
Maybe
long for
maybe it
me.
was a week. Maybe I'm like
No,
over
it was longer
exaggerating
than
it.
a week, I'm pretty sure, but maybe like a month or two. Well, fuck, we're talking on
No, we
computers.
don't have anything that can look that information up. Okay.
My Google's over there. I can't reach it.
We're just gonna say he did it for a long time.
Mm,
Crazy. And I'm pretty sure they did a sequel to it too, and I haven't seen it, but
gross.
I don't know. But anyways, I heard that you,
hmm
Chandler, have a topic for us today.
I do. I do.
Yay.
And it actually is kind of like McDonald's.
How?
Because I need a segue. So, Evan, you know me. You know me. I like tier lists.
Yep.
Yes.
Is this
Yep.
another tier list episode?
It's another tier list episode.
Oh
And
yeah.
another thing, I know you're getting sick of it. And you were
Yeah.
worried about wheels.
Well,
You
we
were
only
worried.
did one wheel so far, so I can't really say I'm sick of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know, but you were rolling your eyes at the wheels and now
Well, well, it's because you keep every time we come up with a new idea, you're like, "What if there was a wheel?" Every time.
what about tier lists, Evan?
Is it a wheel tier list?
No, it's not a wheel tier
We
list.
got to do
That
that
would be
now. We got to do a wheel tier list. That would be fun.
anyways, back on the gravy train. You know what else I love, Evan?
What?
America.
Okay.
So
I know,
we're doing an America tier list, baby.
like the states.
No, like the things that make America America.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna do an American tier list here.
Oh
Okay,
god.
so wait, how do I do the share screen? This one.
Nah. It's just a hot dog.
Yeah, baby, we're starting off with hot dogs
Wait, so we're not doing like an actual S tier. We're doing like the thing we did for the
for the
presidential.
presidents. Yeah,
Okay, I see what you mean. More work for me. Fine, I get it.
of course. Well, you mean
Of
more work for
course.
the editor?
Yeah, the editor, that guy.
Editor, explosion, please.
Yeah, I'll get on that. The editor will get on that.
Of course, of course. Well, anyways, back on track. Evan,
Yeah.
hot dogs, America. What are you thinking for this?
Well, I would like to say I feel like hot dogs have originated from other countries. Like, hot
Mm.
dog, very similar to a sausage, so very German esque. But I feel like America does what it does best, and what's the word that I'm looking for? Um,
Innovates,
nope. I wish we did that.
revolutionizes,
No, not even that.
evolves.
Nope.
Yes. Actually, hot dogs were
Appropriate. That's the word.
appropriate.
That's the best thing America does, is appropriate stuff.
I mean, you're right, but you're wrong about this one, buddy.
I don't know.
Hot dog in a bun, that is an American invention, my friend.
Well, I'm talking about specifically the hot dog itself, like without the bun.
No, no, no.
Like
We're
it
talking about
can't.
the hot dog. We're talking about the
Well,
hot
if we're
dog
talking
sandwich.
about, okay, so I guess we had a little bit of creative liberty with that in the bun, you know. But I will have to say it is very American with the bun, you know, with like the
Mm,
mustard ketchup. Like that's very
yeah,
American, you know what I
that's
mean?
true. And I hate mustard.
And I think very popular choice on the 4th of July,
Ooh, it's the
uh,
go-to.
next to the burger.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I don't know. I kind of feel like again like it's not fully American because like they took some
That's
elements from other, you know, places.
that's fair.
So
That's very fair.
I don't feel like it's an A.
Mm.
I would put it at a B. I think that's a good spot for it.
B tier for hot dogs. Yeah, I can live with that. I mean, like, I'd put it at a C just because personally I hate them, but it's fairly American. You
But
know, I'd say,
Americans love them.
isn't that like the classic saying, baseball, hot dogs, apple pie?
I've never heard that saying before, but yeah, sure.
Oh,
That's the American saying. I'm pretty sure
well,
that's the national anthem, actually.
it was before they made up all this, okay, you see, whatever bullshit.
Yeah, I can see that there's a hot dog. So,
I can't see. Well, you're about to see what's next. Baseball. Hey, there we go.
ooh, okay, okay.
How do you feel about baseball and its representation of America?
Now, did that originate in America
Much like the hot dog, took inspirations from
from like
from
cricket?
other countries. Well, some say cricket. There's also this British game called Rounders, where instead of like a diamond, it was a square. So like the same thing. And very similar with like running around bases and shit. So a lot of influence, but the baseball that we know today, that's been Americanized for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably put this. I would put it slightly higher than the hot dog because
Mm.
it's like I would say a little bit more popular. You know what I mean?
Then
Well,
hot dogs?
maybe not more popular, but because like you can get hot dogs while watching baseball. That's very American.
That's that's
So I
very
can't.
American.
So maybe like equal because like I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of people know baseball. Like it's not like a
as
unknown
American.
sport. Yeah,
No, that's fair.
I feel like if you were to like equally like take a hot dog or like a baseball, like an actual baseball, and like brought it to a European country, I feel like if they weren't like if they didn't know America at all, like let's just say they know nothing about America, I feel like they wouldn't be able to distinguish the two. They would probably guess that's like a
Yeah,
sausage and bread, but they wouldn't know.
yeah,
I don't think they would know the name because a hot dog, that's a weird name.
true.
So I feel like, so I would say equally popular, maybe,
Hmm.
but I want to give baseball more credit for like originality. Like, sure, it did take some inspiration from other games, but I don't know like rounders or whatever you said.
True. No idea.
I've never heard of that, and it's weird that it's called rounders, but they play in a square. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Don't like it. Cricket
no,
also like a weird game. I don't really understand, and
makes
their
no
bats
sense.
are weird. I don't know. But I'm an American,
Yeah,
so I find other things from other countries weird, I guess. But
and yeah,
I don't know. But I would say A. I think that's a good.
A
I think that's it
tier.
because there's a sport that is probably going to be on here that I would say is higher than
Mm.
baseball. So
I
that's why I'll
think
just
I
put it at A.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think you might be right. But nonetheless, we will find out. A tier for baseball. That makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense. It did take a lot of inspiration from sports that previously existed in Europe, and also, Americans not really the best at baseball anymore. Uh,
really.
you know, oh yeah, I mean like the Dominican, Latin America, they've overtaken us years ago, and the
Yeah.
Japanese now with like Shohei Otani. I mean, there's a lot of competition for America but I don't think they have like the World Baseball Classic, which is like kind of like the Olympics for baseball. Like
Yeah,
all these countries play each other.
that's cool.
I don't I don't think America won last time. I'm pretty sure it was Puerto Rico
Yeah,
or Japan.
that makes
I can't
sense.
remember, but yeah. So, anyways, all that to say, A tier I can agree with.
I
If
wouldn't.
America was
Yeah,
still the pinnacle of baseball, maybe we could put it at S, but we're not.
I wouldn't say America is like best at sports. Definitely not the best, but
Well, in
I've
some sports like basketball.
at creating a sport like baseball, pretty decent. You know.
Yeah, and impressive. I mean, there's a lot of rules. It's very complicated. That's also pretty American.
Yeah.
Why make it simple?
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyways, moving on. Oh, the
Oh
bald
my god, the
eagle.
bald
Oh.
eagle. Eagle.
Whew. I'm sorry. I know it's a little biased to put it with a background of an American flag, but I had to use this picture. I mean, look at it.
That is America right there.
That's America, baby.
Um. Well, definitely. I don't know if eagles are just very like the American bird. I'm pretty sure it is, right?
It
But
is. Yeah, of course.
so yeah, well, specifically the bald eagle, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say S tier right away because like that's
Yeah.
it's
It's a
it's in front
bald
of the
eagle.
American flag. Can't even speak.
God damn
The
it.
American flag.
If that ain't American, then I don't know who is.
Yeah, so it's just like that's America right there.
It really just hits your patriot soul right in the soul. Oh man, no, eagles are so cool though. Animals in general are so cool. But yeah, can't can't not say S tier for a bald eagle. Next up, the
Yeah. And
American
just the flag. Okay.
the American flag. Yeah, red, white, and blue.
I mean,
Stars and banners or whatever.
well, this one is just. I mean, that's just America's flag. I mean, it's not. I can't put it in F tier. You know what I mean? Like, aren't we just saying like, aren't we ranking what is like more American or like what feels like America? But you're
You know
just
what?
you just gave me the American flag, so like I mean that's very America, you know.
That's true. That's true.
So I would have to say what S tier along with the eagle.
You know what, Evan? I'm gonna say C tier.
What, because of the design?
No, because well, yeah, actually, it is the design.
Okay.
'Cause it's just lazy, and so many other countries have done the same thing. And let me tell you, you can get the American flag confused with other flags. It's not very
I I
distinguished.
don't know about that. I don't know.
You say that, Evan, but there's a whole subreddit dedicated to people who post the like Liberian flag or something because it looks like the American flag.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
I know there's like very similar flag designs out there,
Exactly.
but I don't know. I feel like that one is. I mean,
Well, here's the
that's
thing.
America right there. That is
No,
America.
but it's not. Because here's the thing.
But it's not
The
though.
the heart of America, Evan, is revolution. It's independence. This isn't independent or revolutionary. It's blasé and used,
Well, how would you design
tired.
the American flag?
I'd put a goddamn bald eagle on. Is what I'd do.
Ooh, that's actually smart. Yeah.
No one else has done that, and that'd be
Well, actually,
badass.
I think what's the bird on the Mexican flag?
Does it have a bird? I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
think so.
You're asking the wrong guy, Evan. I'm American. I don't know geography.
I don't think it's a bald eagle. Maybe it's like a.
It's definitely not. No other country would put a bald eagle. We'd have to like invade them or something.
I hope not. That would be terrible.
Well,
We
if
have
you are,
to.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have an image right here. I don't know if you can see, but you probably can't, right?
Nope.
I'll just send it to you, I guess.
My phone's not on me.
Well, I'm sending it to you anyway, so there you go.
Well, anyways.
But
Yeah.
it does look like an eagle. Not a bald eagle, but it looks like an eagle on the Mexican
Well,
flag.
back on track. This isn't about Mexico. It's about America, baby.
I'm gonna say S tier, just because to me the bald eagle and the flag, it's same.
All right, all right. You know, that's fair. I get it. I get it.
Well,
I'm
it
just a
feels
dissenter.
American. That's the thing. Like I'm going based off like what feels more American. You know,
But couldn't it feel more American?
definitely. But the amount of people that
Boom.
ride in them yee trucks and then and they just like have this flag on display. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately that's America.
Unfortunately, we are stuck with this flag. It could be better, but
Yeah.
all right. That's fair. Next up, rock and roll, baby.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Came from the blues and R&B, the old R&B days, some soul. That's the roots of rock and roll, and it came from America.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And that was also appropriated.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's true. By white people.
by white people. Yep.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yep.
again.
It's still American. It
Still
was made by
American.
African Americans, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, Evan, where would you put rock and roll
You
on a
know,
America tier list?
I would have to say because now like I feel like a lot of more countries have done rock and roll music and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even better.
True.
So just to strictly say American, I don't know. I don't think I would put it at S tier, but
Mm.
definitely A tier. I would say.
Wow. I thought you might go a little lower, and I would agree only because, like you said, you think about some of the early, like, classic rock bands.
Yeah,
A lot of them are British.
like the Beatles.
The Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd.
That's what I'm saying. Like some countries can do it a lot better. Um,
That's why I would have put it lower. I probably would have put it at like a C tier
yeah,
personally. But I get an A tier. I mean, it's definitely known to have come from America. I just don't think people celebrate, American rock and roll like they do
yeah.
from other countries.
But I would say A tier because it was like it evolved from like what you were saying from like the blues and stuff like that in America.
Mm.
So like it does feel American, but I wouldn't say that's like America.
True, true. All right, next up, we have apple pie.
Ooh, apple pie. A
Yeah,
very
old.
famous Thanksgiving dessert, I would say.
Absolutely. And what's more American than Thanksgiving? Not much.
Yep. Which Thanksgiving, kind of controversial. Not gonna lie. I mean, the day of Thanksgiving may have been about peace, but
True.
maybe not the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways, American
and
Pie, right?
back on
Or apple
track.
pie. It should be called
Yes,
American Pie because
it
I feel
should
like
be.
I don't know, like I don't know if other countries do apple pie. I mean, it's just a
It's
fruit.
an apple pie,
It's just an
I'm
apple in a pie, but I feel like it's very popular in America.
mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to go with A tier, just
A for
because
apple, baby.
I feel like other countries may also do this, maybe even better.
Oh,
But
well, I doubt that.
I do associate apple pie with America due to like
True,
Thanksgiving and it being like a very popular dessert.
true, true. I can agree with that. It's apple pie.
Yeah,
Kind of makes me want to go get an apple pie, and I don't even like it that much.
that's true.
Next up, Mountain Dew, baby.
Mountain Dew. Oh my god. I'm not that big of a Mountain Dew fan, actually. I don't
Yeah,
drink it
that's
that
fair.
much.
I
That's
love
fair.
it. I don't drink it as much as I used to, but I do like Mountain Dew.
Did that start in America? Was that like a
I have no idea. I was gonna look it up, and then I realized I don't really care because, like, come
You
on,
just
it's
you just
Mountain
think it
Dew.
feels American.
It feels like trailer park trash. You
Okay.
know, that's that's pretty American.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
come on!
fair.
Don't tell me when you think about Mountain Dew, you picture some like, big old neck beard with a crooked trucker hat, just like chugging a gallon of Mountain Dew, and half his teeth are
Yeah,
missing.
I mean that's fair. I
That's
would
America,
say
baby.
I wouldn't say I feel like you could go more American with like a certain type of beverage,
That's fair.
like maybe a Baja Blast. That's a very popular version of Mountain
What?
Dew. Yeah, that's a very popular.
Okay, first of all, it's still Mountain Dew. I
Yeah,
only picked
but it's just
original
a.
because like that was the picture. But Baja Blast is less American than classic. Let's not get that twisted.
That's true.
Baja is not an American word.
Yeah, I know, but
If
like
it was just, like Mountain Dew
I'm just saying
Blast,
that's just
then
the
sure.
name, and I feel like it's the more popular Mountain Dew flavor. So
I
I'm just saying.
suppose, but nonetheless, Mountain Dew representing America and its culture, I think it fits great.
I would put it mm, probably B tier,
Fair.
just because I don't know. Personally, I think maybe like it's really hard to say because like I'm not that big of a fan of Mountain Dew. I know it's popular and
Mm,
maybe it's very popular in America,
it
but I
is.
feel like
Not maybe.
didn't like Coca Cola start in America?
I don't know, probably.
Maybe I don't know. I gotta look that up. But I feel like Coca Cola is very I would say more American,
See,
like because it's more. I
Coca-Cola,
feel like it's more celebrated than Mountain Dew.
yeah. Well, that's because Coca-Cola is like 100 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's had more time. But we're talking like current time.
I don't know. I
Mountain
feel like
Dew is the drink of the generation, Evan.
well,
The
yeah, maybe
kids
like the
love
more
Mountain Dew.
current generation. But I'm just saying
And
like if we're
that
doing
generation is getting older.
like a wider net, I feel like Coca Cola probably is higher, more American.
It's depicted as more American. But again, we're talking like the true culture. Like if you ask like a foreigner, like, what sodas represent America, they're gonna say Mountain Dew. I mean, that's like redneck 101, Mountain
Hmm.
Dew. No one's got time for Coca-Cola. That prissy, rich boy Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Get
sure,
that out of
okay.
here. Anyways,
I'm
B tier
stuck.
is still acceptable.
B
And I
tier
don't
it
even
is.
disagree.
It's B
I don't
tier.
even disagree because, like, if Coke was on the list, it would be higher, but I didn't think of Coke. I thought
Yeah.
of Mountain Dew. But next up,
Next up,
guns.
guns. Now that's America right there.
That is the US of A to a T.
S tier. If I could do S
S tier.
plus,
Yeah. You know what?
it's
We'll add it. Who
yeah.
says we can't? There's no limit.
I will say it's just unfortunate that that's the way it is. But yep, if I think of guns, I think of America because of
And if you
where
think
we're
of
at right
America,
now.
you think of guns. See, this is one of those things that goes both ways. When you think of guns, you think of America. When you think of America, you think of guns.
Hmm.
They're just synonymous.
It's just one of the same, really.
Whew, S plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Moving
other
on.
countries.
It's this is enough said, really.
Enough said.
It's just S tier.
Beer.
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 Okay. Did beer originate in America?
I don't think so, but it's
Okay.
very American.
That's true, especially the 99-cent ones
Yes,
they can get at the gas station.
the cheap ones.
Yeah, I forgot what are they called again?
Natty Daddies.
Yeah, not sponsored, but
No, definitely not. I wouldn't even want a sponsor. Anyways,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of beer. I know you tried to go on a little kick of trying different beers.
I dabble. Yeah.
Never liked it. never liked the taste. They kind of taste very similar, and I just didn't
Mm,
care for it. I'm more of like a wine type of dude. You know,
mm-hmm.
I
So
can
you're a
dabble.
pussy.
No, no, I can dabble in mixed drinks. You know, with vodka,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some cranberry with that or other fruits. But beer has just never been one of those things I cared for. I will say, you know, there's a lot of brands out there like Budweiser, not sponsored, and what was it, Coors or something,
Coors.
not sponsored.
Yeah. Not sponsored.
But yeah, I do feel like I would put that over Mountain Dew in terms of like America, because
True.
I don't know many other countries that like drink beer that much. Like I
Well,
feel like if I think of Italy, right? Think of wine.
yeah,
Don't know if I'm stereotyping. Sorry if I am. But
you are.
well, they got good wine. And I feel like
That's true.
that's a compliment more than anything. And then, you know, when I think
Yeah.
of vodka, I think of Russia. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just like thinking of beer is just kind of American, also kind of like Ireland a little bit, but they also got
Very
like
much.
whiskey and stuff like that. I feel like more like beer is more American than I would say because it's
Wow.
gross,
What about German?
disgusting. Beer, German, yeah, I can kind of
Germany.
see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, a little bit.
Kinda. I'm pretty. That's like where beer originates.
Why? I didn't know. I mean, I
What?
asked you and you didn't say it. You didn't tell me.
Well, I mean, Germany's very popular for their beers,
Okay,
even if
but
it didn't originate there.
America is better at appropriating, so now it's America beer. Well,
That's fair.
specifically
I
American
can't
beer, I
argue
would
that.
say, like American beer companies, very, very American,
Very, very
very,
popular in
very
America.
popular.
Yes.
Yeah,
Budweiser, extremely popular in
is
America.
Budweiser an American
Yeah,
company?
I'm pretty sure it's. I'm pretty sure it originates from like St. Louis or something. I could be wrong, but
Okay, I'm just gonna say A tier, a little bit higher than Mountain Dew.
that's fair.
I wouldn't, and again, like it's not super American, like you said, comes from Germany, most likely.
Well, and also just like like you said, like Ireland, definitely, popular. England, definitely popular. But then think about like Scandinavia. Like, what would Vikings drink? Not wine. They'd be
That's
drinking
true.
beer.
That is true.
A tier's good for beer. A tier's good.
Yeah.
Next up, the Imperial Measurement System.
I feel isn't like America the only one that uses this?
No, I think there are some other countries, but not many.
I
Very, very
know,
few.
I know, or I've heard a lot of people clown on America for using this system
Yes,
and how it's just more complicated than it needs to be.
true.
Maybe I don't know how true that is, but I know when they use Celsius, insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fahrenheit
Yeah,
Makes more sense, but um,
I'm pretty sure it's more accurate
I don't know. I can't really
because the
say.
metric system's based on tens. It's just like, oh yes, 10 meters is a kilometer or something,
Yeah,
or
I mean
a
maybe it makes
hundred
more
meters.
sense. I don't know,
So it's
but
easier. It's easier math, but I'm pretty sure the imperial system is far more accurate.
when I think of this, I don't really think of America. It is, America does use this, and I feel like maybe a small handful of countries also use this. Again, I'm not looking anything up, so I really don't know. But
Neither do I.
I would put it C tier, just because I don't think
Ooh.
we've gone lower than a B. So just to throw that out there.
Yeah, for that to be lower than a,
I just
that's
don't
the
think of it
C
as
tier.
America though. I'm going based off what feels American, and I feel like, yeah, like America
Yards.
uses this, but like I wouldn't associate it with just America. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
What do you mean that's crazy?
I'm. I would
Every time you
be.
see like 14 pounds equals like 1 stone, you're like, that's America.
No, I don't think of fucking 1 stone or whatever, but pounds. ounces, miles, yards. That's so American. No one else uses those.
Also,
How
I've
long is a
never,
football
I've
field, Evan?
never.
How long is a football field? Is it 5 kilometers or is it 100 yards?
It's 100 yards.
Yeah, because that's American.
I've never heard of a stone though. Now that I say that,
Well, once you get into stone and pint, that's looking a little British to me. I don't really like that.
yeah, I don't know. I like how 1 pint equals none.
Yeah, it equals nothing.
Isn't that what
There's
it says? One
there's nothing
inch, none.
smaller.
1 foot, 12 inches. One
Yeah,
pint,
because like
none.
there's nothing smaller than like an inch or whatever.
Yeah, 1 gallon, eight
So
pints.
look, we're learning.
Oh my god. We don't learn that much on this podcast.
No, we don't. Usually we lose information.
So wait, what would you rate this as?
I mean, I feel like it at least has to be like an A or a B. Just because, like, yeah, other countries may use it, but like, I think this is where I was going with my thought. If you asked anybody outside of America what country they think of when they hear like 1 foot or 1 yard, they're either gonna not know what the hell you're talking about, or they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's like the American measurement system."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get that. I will move it up to a B. Just because then move on. But like okay, fine. B. B works with me. That's why they rhyme.
Oh, you rhymed. Next up,
Actually, hold up.
hip-hop.
Pause, because I
Oh.
gotta use the bathroom real quick, but I'll be
Oh.
right back.
Welcome to a solo cast. That's right. The tables have turned. Now I am doing the solo cast because Evan isn't here like a nerd. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we talk about on solo cast? I've never done one of these. Well, my birthday was recently. That was pretty fun. I went to this really fancy Italian place. It was pretty cool. The meatballs were pretty good, I was thinking about that a lot lately. It's hard to find a good meatball, Like, I don't know what it is. They don't make meatballs like they used to, I guess. Because it used to be really good, My grandma used to make meatballs. She made some really good meatballs. I'm sure she still does, but she hasn't sent me any meatballs in a while, Hey, hey, Graham, if you're watching this, send me some meatballs, like, for real. Whew. Oh, what else is good? You know what else is good? Pasta. It's so versatile. You can have spaghetti, you can have, penne, you can have shells, you can have, the twisty ones, the capopolte or something like that. Very good. And you can also lasagna. How could I forget lasagna? I made a lasagna one time. It was pretty good, but the pan too big. That is my one piece of advice. If you're gonna make a lasagna, make sure you get a pan that fits. Cause mine was a little bit runny, but it was still pretty good. It was still nice. What else? Oh, 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 oh. Hey, Evan.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Did you do
How
a
was-
solo cast while I was gone?
Just a little bit, Just a little bit.
Ah, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to it.
Oh yes, of course. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, dog. We only got a few American things left. And up next is, of course, hip hop.
Very popular.
Very popular. Very American.
Mm-hmm. I would say I do not know that much information about this genre.
Fair.
I do believe it originated in America. There's a lot of
It
famous
did.
people of hip hop from
It
America.
originated, I'll give you a little bit of context that I can. It originated in the mid 70s in the streets of New York City.
Mm.
And it evolved into the amazing genre that we love today.
Well, yeah. I feel like a lot of people, or a lot of people from like older generations, don't really understand it just because they're stuck in their old ways. But it's fine.
True.
Um, I don't know. I like it, and it's kind of hard to say because like rock and roll
Mm,
is kind of American, but also like we talked about how like other countries do it too, maybe even better. Um,
true.
but this one I might have to put higher than rock and roll because
Mm,
I don't know. Like again, I'm not in this like circle as much as you. Like I don't listen to this genre that much. I have like a little bit, but like
hmm
I'm not confident in like saying, but maybe I've only seen artists from America, perform or
Yeah, other than like Drake, you know.
we don't count him. We don't count
we
that
don't
guy. I'm
we
actually
don't
going to
count
bleep
you.
that out.
Ah, okay. Fair
But
enough.
besides that, I feel like hip hop is very American based.
True.
Maybe other countries have tried doing it and maybe it's not as well. That's why I've never like really seen other countries do hip hop. Well, actually that's a lie. I feel like would you consider Bad Bunny hip hop?
I mean, I've never listened to him personally, but I think most people do. Yeah.
Yeah. But he mostly, well, he comes from what country?
Puerto Rico,
Puerto Rico?
I believe. Yes.
Okay. So like I mean maybe he does hip hop. So like that's like another artist that's outside, but I just like overall I feel like there's a lot of American hip hop artists. So I feel like
True.
that outnumbers like, and I feel like maybe America does it better. Maybe again, I don't know that much. Only guessing, but I would put it above rock and roll, which that means I think rock and roll was in A tier. I'll give this like an A plus.
Okay. All right.
I
An A
think
plus for hip hop. I
I think
like
that
it.
makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't know. What
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I agree. And there are a lot of foreign hip hop artists. But America obviously is the originator and produces the highest quality and probably the highest quantity of rap artists or hip hop artists, I should say.
Would
Because that
you?
would, I think,
Yeah.
include producers
Mm-hmm.
and that type. Because that's where hip hop got its roots. It started by just mixing beat breaks in songs uh, over a stereo at a park, and people would just dance. And then MCs would come up and like hype up the crowd or give people shout outs, and that's the birth of hip hop. Um, so yeah, it's definitely very American, and I think in time it'll be seen more as more American, like almost on the same level as rock and roll.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think, like you said, a lot of the older generation just does not accept it at all,
Yeah.
and but I think as they fade out, people will start to kind of. And the other thing too is, hip hop has largely throughout the years spoken out against, you know, some American establishments, and so it's probably viewed as very anti-American to a lot of people. But it's all very nuanced because you could also say that's like very First Amendment to speak out against the government and shit. So that's also American in a weird way, but
That's true. I was gonna say, because you wouldn't say hip hop and rap are like the same genre.
no, I mean they're synonymous with each other, but I feel like you have melodic hip hop, and also people rap on rock beats. They rap on country songs now. That doesn't make that a country hip hop song.
That's
It's
true.
just you use this rap is to me is a vocal style. It's not necessarily a genre
Okay.
of music per se. Almost like opera, You could sing opera style on any song theoretically.
I guess that's true. Like, I just feel like a lot of people do consider rap a genre. So like,
Yeah.
but I can also understand like rap just being like a vocal style.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
again, it's very synonymous, and then like general pop culture. Like, I'm not gonna be a, you know, I'm not gonna gatekeep and be like, rap's not hip hop. Like, they go hand in hand, obviously, you
Yeah.
know. And I get like in general in history, you don't really have one without the other. You know,
Hmm.
rap wouldn't really be popular if it wasn't for the hip hop style, and hip hop wouldn't be as popular if it wasn't for the people who are able to just construct these really cool and interesting and introspective, lyrics.
That makes sense.
Yeah, welcome to my TED Talk.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
I
So
did
A
actually read
plus
about this.
tier for this one.
A plus, I'm cool with
A
it. Yeah.
plus.
Next up, the Boston Tea Party, baby.
You can't get more American
Whew.
than that. Come on.
Yeah. Yep, that's another one that hits, man. That feels so good.
Yeah.
Look at all
Just
that tea.
wasting so much product. That's America
Look,
right there.
look, look at those British tears floating in the Boston Harbor.
Yep.
Glorious.
Why can't we do that again, honestly?
We can, well, I think people are kind of planning a mass Tesla tea party or some shit.
Yeah.
Drive them all into the ocean.
Well, it's probably not good for the ocean, I would say. But
That's
yeah,
true. That's true.
we gotta be careful what we put in the ocean, I would say.
Yeah, you gotta choose your battles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say S tier. It
It's got yes.
like it's in Boston,
Yeah,
America. They
Boston.
they said fuck you to the British, so like that's
Mm-hmm.
America right there. That's S tier.
That's very American. I agree. You can't. I mean, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't exist without the Boston Tea Party.
No, well, no,
No, we
no.
wouldn't. That's
The
revolution,
Boston
baby.
Tea Party really like pushed. It kind of like gave people not hope, I
This
would say, but like
sense of
the
pride.
the accomplishment that they are capable of, like, rejecting uh what would you say? It's not tyranny, right? Or would it be tyranny? I don't know.
Well, yeah, kind of. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if it's technically tyranny because there wasn't really. I don't know what the word would be, but yeah, it's pretty tyrannical of the
Okay.
king to be such an asshole.
Yeah, like having higher taxes and whatnot. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and look at all these people; they're taking their hats off and cheering. I mean, you don't see that nowadays.
No, people are just very submissive now.
Yeah, look, no cell phone in sight. They're just taking in the glory of the moment.
Hmm.
Except for whoever took this picture, I guess.
Well, they didn't take the picture as a painting, but you know.
Really? It looks so real.
What are you talking about? Do you think? Do you
Anyways,
think someone painted this like during? Like, hold on, everyone, stand still,
stop,
stand still. I'm painting.
stop moving.
That would be funny.
You in the blue, lift your arm back up, please.
Yeah, can you hold your hats up again? I like that. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Evan. Next up, and I believe this is our last one.
Yeah.
It's football, baby.
Yep. Football. That's the sport I was talking about when I was saying there's one I would say that's more American than baseball, and that is football, because football comes from America. Granted, we did kind of steal the name,
Yeah,
but
yeah. For no
we
reason.
spell it a little bit differently. So,
You spell it very differently.
well, like, granted, you don't really use the ball that much with your feet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you use it a little bit sometimes.
On occasion, from
So
time to
the
time.
name kind of works. Yeah, this is like American sports right here. This is the American sport. The
Number
Super
one,
Bowl
baby.
is what,
Mhm.
like the most watched
Event
in the
in
world,
America.
I think, right?
Mm,
In the world, or
I don't
am I
know.
stretching? Am I like
The
Too
only reason I
naive.
don't want to say in the world is like the Olympics and shit,
That's true.
but it's definitely the most watched event in America every year. Every
Yep.
year.
Yep. That's true. So with that, I'm probably gonna have to say S plus.
S plus.
Yeah,
Wow.
because that's America right there. That's what it needs to. The
Football.
flag needs to be like. Well, we need the like red, white, and blue somewhere. So maybe we could have like
True.
that in the background or something. But have a bald eagle,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't
With,
know, with
with
the
a
football in its mouth or
football,
in its beak, I guess, or something.
and then it's got to have guns.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, can't have
yeah.
an American flag without
I
guns.
think maybe for an episode we will design what the American flag should be.
Oh, that would be fun. That
Maybe
would be
that's what.
fun.
So that's a little like hint right there. What we will do. Maybe put like a hot dog somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe in a little bit though, because like I feel like we've been getting really patriotic lately.
Yeah, we've been doing too much America stuff, but that's because we love America so much, right?
Yes, of course. Please, President Obama, please.
Come back. You've been gone for so long.
Or just on our podcast. You don't have to be president.
Yeah. Well, that was a great episode, I think.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think we did a lot of God's work here with ranking what is America. I hope people from other countries will watch this. Let me close stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully
really
other
interested.
people from other countries will watch this and be like, that's what America is, and be more educated than I am, because I am not educated.
Oh, so, I almost put like geography on here just for shits and giggles.
Just to fuck me up.
Because that would be
Oh,
like a
God.
D tier. Because America's
Oh,
not known
no.
for their education.
Yeah. I'm a prime example of that.
We
Unfortunately,
all are.
I
Come
did
on.
not take a geometry, or no, not geometry. I don't even geography. Sorry. See, I'm this bad. I didn't take a.
where Chile is. I never took geometry.
I never took geometry. No, geography. I never took. I never taken that class.
Which is a shame.
I never took that class. Yeah,
It should be mandatory.
should be.
IMO.
Actually, I think I was against it. I think we talked about this, where I think geography shouldn't be a class.
Oh, because nothing matters, just America.
No, no. But we have like maps and shit, so it's like, so what's the point?
Yeah, but you don't know how to read the map. That's the problem.
I can be
We've
like,
always had maps.
that's America,
Evan.
that's Mexico, that's Europe,
Wait,
right there.
Evan, do you think that people taught geography because we didn't have maps?
Yep. No.
You need a map to teach geography.
I got a phone.
Otherwise,
I got a phone. I can just figure it out. I don't know.
yeah, but Evan, you need a map. Your phone needs a
No.
map to
No.
tell you what country it is. That doesn't make sense. Geography doesn't exist without a map.
No, I'm just saying like we don't, because like people use geography to find stuff and put it onto a map, right? So to educate other people to like,
What?
yeah, yeah.
They're not using geography to find something and put it on a map.
No,
They're
but
using
but
geography
like
to tell you. They're
no,
using
but they
geography to
made
tell
the
you
map.
what the map says.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say is like they have a map, or they're drawing out the map, because like that's what they had to do back then. They couldn't just like make shit up. They had to
Mhm.
actually like find the places and then draw like borders, and say
Mhm.
like this is like what, and then once they created it all, they could teach people and like teach people geography based on the map that they
Yeah.
just made.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But you have to
Yeah.
have some like skill in order to make that map prior, is what I'm trying to also say, is that like learning
Have
geography and like learning, like like lands, rivers, lakes, and all that, like understanding that and putting it all together in a map that makes sense.
So what's the question? I'm so confused. But you don't think that we should keep teaching geography? You think, well, we made the maps, we're done. Don't need to tell anyone what it means.
I'm saying geography shouldn't be like a required class.
Yes, it
But
should.
well, I just feel like you could just be given a map and you can just understand it based off that. You know what I mean?
No, you can't.
I feel like you could.
Clearly.
You could.
Evan, how many maps of Africa have you looked at? Can you name 10 countries?
I can name 10 countries. Okay.
Do it.
Okay. 1, you got Nigeria.
True.
You got Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Oh,
hold up.
wow.
Hold up.
Okay.
I got this.
There's a huge one you're missing, not size-wise, but in like, how are you missing this?
I'm not gonna say because I don't know. What's the one I'm missing that's so huge?
South Africa?
South Africa. Is
It has
that
Africa in the name.
no? That can't be. Can't be right. Is
Yeah,
a country called
that's,
South Africa?
yeah, that's where Nazi Musk comes from. He's South African.
I just okay. This is why we need geography, I guess.
Thank you. Okay. Point settled.
Point settled. Okay, fine. Listen. I might not know geography, but I know a little bit of geometry. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you got a 90-degree angle, right? You got a 45.
True.
That's all you
Yeah.
need. That's all you need.
That's all you need to know in life.
Exactly.
Like, oh, that there, that's in somewhere between 90 and 45 degrees.
Exactly. That's all you need. I'm
True
going
that,
to end this
true that.
episode before I make more of a fool of myself, but it's pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
No, it was a great episode.
I'm better at European countries, and that's just because I've like learned more European country names than African names. My bad, but
Excuses. Typical American.
yeah, I
Blame
represent
it on someone
America
else.
in the education department, I guess.
Let's go.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Hey, like and subscribe.
Do that.
Smash that like button.
Do that, please.
Leave a comment. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite American? It better be me. Mine's Obama.
Mine's Obama.
Share it with your mother and your aunt, but not with your grandpa. He wouldn't like this.
Nope.
And come back next time for another episode of whatever the hell this is.
Bye.